My child, the courier is near, closer than your breath, nearer than your next heartbeat. You may not have seen them, but they have seen you. Perhaps they passed your dwelling once already, not to deliver, but to discern, to sense whether your soul was open, to listen for the echo of your spirit, to test if your heart had grown quiet enough to hear. They do not rush, they wait in the stillness, watching from the shadows of morning, from the hush of night, waiting for the moment when the noise of the world fades and your soul no longer shouts, but listens. Archangel Michael stands with them, not in haste, but in divine timing. He waited, not because you delayed, but because you had to be prepared. You had to become strong enough to hold truth with mercy, to speak light without vengeance, to carry revelation not as a sword, but as a doorway. You have walked through the fire, not once, but many times. You have tasted betrayal. You've known the silence that stings deeper than words. You've been bruised by those who smiled at you, only to twist the truth behind your back. And yet, you remained soft. You chose hope, even when despair was easier. You chose me, when everything screamed you were alone. Because of that, heaven has shifted, not just to comfort you, but to vindicate you. You are not stepping into favor alone. You are stepping into justice, into restoration, into the unraveling of every lie that tried to suffocate your truth. There were forces hidden and cunning that tried to intercept this message, not with loud threats, but with subtle hands. Distractions, delays, counterfeits wearing kindness like a mask. They feared your awakening, not because of what you would do, but because of who you would become. They knew if this truth ever reached you, you would no longer bow to fear. You would no longer be kept small by shame. You would no longer bleed quietly in rooms that never honored you. So they wove illusions, they whispered doubt, they offered love that left scars, support that stole more than it gave. They gave you crumbs and called it blessing. But I saw, I watched, and I waited for the perfect hour to respond. Today that hour arrives. Heaven speaks, and the silence shatters. Today I override every scheme that delayed your rising. Every unseen barrier is now broken. Every invisible wall collapses before me. What once held you back will now become your testimony. This message is not just information. It is a crossroads. It is the point where your life will no longer echo the pain of the past, but begin to carry the weight of divine purpose. You will be shown what was done, not to hurt you again, but to heal you deeper, not to stir rage, but to deliver wisdom. And still, my voice calls, do not move quickly. Do not speak out of pain, for what I am giving you is not just clarity, it is power. And child, power is sacred. In the wrong hands, it becomes fire that consumes. But in your hands, hands I have shaped through sorrow and silence, it becomes healing. It becomes legacy. It becomes light in places that once knew only shadows. I ask you for this. 3 days of stillness. 3 days of holy quiet. Not to retreat in fear, but to rise in understanding. Let my voice be the only sound you trust in this time. The world will stir. Emotions will flare. Old wounds may begin to ache again, but resist the urge to answer them. Let your silence speak louder than your retaliation. I am calling you into holy restraint, not to limit you, but to prepare you. There is something coming, something that must be received in peace, or you will miss the fullness of it. This is not a test. This is not punishment. It is refinement, an invitation into maturity. For too long you have been surrounded by noise, opinions, projections, false urgency. But I have not spoken from the storm. I have waited for your stillness. Because in the stillness, I can plant the next blueprint of your life. I can whisper strategies, not found in books or logic. I can reveal the reasons behind the delays, the detours, and even the betrayals. What felt like abandonment was actually alignment. I was never punishing you. I was preparing the soil of your spirit for a garden only heaven could grow. Look around you now, and you may not yet see the bloom. You may still feel the weight of unanswered prayers, the ache of promises that seem suspended in time. But I tell you, nothing has been wasted. Not a single tear, not a single night you spent crying when no one noticed, not a single act of kindness you gave without return. I gathered all of it. I stored it like seeds, and now I breathe over them. The harvest is not delayed, it is precise. And the courier I've sent carries not only a message, but a shift in your atmosphere. A divine appointment that will not miss its hour. But listen closely, you must receive this in stillness. If you move too fast, you will interpret it through the lens of past pain. If you speak too quickly, you may curse what I have called sacred. This is why I have slowed your pace, why I closed certain doors, why I withheld certain people, not because you were unworthy, but because your worth demanded more than their presence could hold. You are not too late, you are right on time, and everything that once felt like loss is about to be rewritten into divine alignment. The ones who doubted you will watch, not as you retaliate, but as you rise gracefully, quietly, with my light behind you. This is not revenge, this is redemption, and I will make it holy. There is a weight you've carried in silence, a grief too sacred for human words. You buried dreams not because you stopped believing, but because it hurt too much to keep hoping. You whispered prayers into pillows, not knowing I caught every word. You've smiled while bleeding, served while breaking, and stayed when you could have run. I saw it all, and I was never far. While they walked away, I leaned in. While they doubted you, I was marking you. While you wondered if your voice even mattered, I was preparing a platform that could only be built in secret. Now, that secret season ends. The messenger is coming not just to affirm you, but to shift you. From hidden to seen, from overlooked to divinely appointed, from barely surviving to deeply thriving. But remember, child, the glory that's coming is not for pride, it's for purpose. It's so that others still trapped in their wilderness will find the courage to believe again because they saw you make it through. So walk gently now, with reverence, with mercy for even those who tried to break you, because you are the proof that pain doesn't have the final word. You are the evidence that grace works in the dark. You are the vessel I chose, not because you were perfect, but because you were willing to stay soft, to stay surrendered, to still believe. And now I reward that faith. Can you feel it? The shift in the air? The tension that once gripped your chest loosening, not because the world changed, but because you did. You no longer beg for crumbs of peace. You are learning to dwell in it. You no longer chase love that hides. You are becoming the place where love abides. This is what healing looks like. Not loud, not fast, but sacred, intentional, led by my spirit. The ones who left were meant to. They carried too much noise to walk beside you now. And though your heart broke, you didn't break. You bent but did not shatter. You wept but you did not drown. I was there, in the empty room, in the unanswered calls, in the silence that screamed. And now I am here, in the return, in the rebuilding, in the quiet miracles that begin small. A new connection, a fresh breath, a dream that stirs again. Yes, it's me. I am not the God of abandonment. I am the God of restoration. And everything the enemy used to convince you you were forgotten will now testify that you were preserved. You were hidden, not rejected. You were delayed, not denied. You were pruned so that fruit could multiply. Now walk slowly into this new chapter. Don't rush to explain yourself. Don't argue for what I am about to reveal. Let your life speak. Let your presence carry the proof. Let me go before you. Do not worry about who believes you. Do not waste breath trying to convince those who misjudged your silence. The season for explanation has passed. Now is the time for demonstration. I will show them, through you, not with arrogance, but with grace, not with vengeance, but with divine authority clothed in humility. You don't have to return to every room that wounded you just because you have been healed. Some doors I closed to protect your future. Some tables I removed you from because the conversation was beneath your calling. You are not bitter. You are becoming. You are not hard. You are holy. You are not lost. You are led. And this path I have you on, though unfamiliar, will lead you to places where peace is not borrowed, it is built. You will look back and no longer ache, not because the memory disappeared, but because I will have rewritten its meaning. What once marked you with pain will now mark you with purpose. This is the divine exchange, your mourning for my oil of joy, your ashes for my crown of beauty, your despair for my garment of praise. I am not just restoring what was stolen, I am increasing it. And the ones who counted you out will witness the hand of God write your name into rooms they said you'd never enter. Stay low in posture, stay high in faith. What's coming next is not small, and it was made for the healed version of you. You've waited long, longer than most know. There were nights you almost gave up, not loudly, but in the quiet places no one could see. You carried burdens with a strength that looked effortless to others, but I saw the cracks in your soul. I saw how you smiled while unraveling. I heard the words you never dared to pray out loud, and still you stayed. You kept showing up, even when the heavens felt silent, even when answers delayed, even when hope dimmed, you remained, and that matters to me more than you know. Faith isn't proven in the light, it's forged in the shadows, and yours, child, has become unshakable. That is why, now, I am placing in your hands something holy, a new assignment, a weight of glory that your past pain made room for. But you must carry it differently, not with fear, not with striving, but with rest. Yes, rest. Rest is not idleness. Rest is trust. Rest is knowing that what I start, I finish. That what I place in your spirit, I will also equip you to complete. You don't have to run anymore. You don't have to force open what I haven't unlocked. Just walk, one obedient step at a time. Let me order your pace. Let me open the way. You are no longer striving for breakthrough. You are becoming it. You are walking proof that endurance births miracles. Now breathe, beloved. Let the weight fall off your shoulders. You were never meant to carry the world, only to reflect the one who holds it. I am not calling you to fix everything. I am calling you to align, to walk in rhythm with me, to trust that the doors I open no one can shut, and the ones I close were never meant to hold you. There will be whispers from old voices, from past habits, from familiar fears that try to masquerade as reason, but they hold no power anymore. You have been rewired from within. The old patterns no longer fit this new spirit. You are stepping into divine clarity. Where once there was fog, now there is light. Where once there was confusion, now wisdom flows. Your discernment will sharpen, your words will carry weight, not because you shout, but because my authority rests in your stillness. This is where you begin to walk as one who knows, not just believes, as one who has seen the fire, felt the crushing, and emerged not smelling of smoke, but glowing with grace. You are not a survivor of your past. You are a carrier of my promise. And everywhere you go from this moment forward, you will shift the atmosphere, not by force, but by presence. Because I am with you, I always have been, and now my glory will follow you like a shadow, even into the places that once broke you. This is your turning point. But do not treat it casually. Hold it with holy reverence. Let every step be wrapped in gratitude for the pain that shaped you, for the silence that refined you, for the delays that protected you from what was never yours. The courier I sent, they have delivered more than words. They have delivered a mantle, a shift. A calling awakened by fire and sealed in grace. You are no longer who you were, and that is not your shame. That is your power. You are no longer waiting for permission to rise. You are no longer hoping someone will choose you. I have chosen you. I have equipped you, and I now send you, not with trembling, but with quiet confidence that comes from divine commissioning. From this moment on, you will notice the difference. The ease in rooms that once felt hard, the peace that no longer needs explanation, the favor that surrounds you like morning dew, gentle, silent, undeniable. Let others wonder. Let them ask what changed. You won't need to explain. Your fruit will speak. And as you move slowly. Move sacredly. Speak only when I lead. Act only when peace confirms. No more rushing, no more reaching, just receiving. This is not the end of the storm. This is you becoming the calm in it. You are ready. Now, go. Carry what I've placed within you, and know I walk beside you, before you, behind you, forever.